This week, I have a really easy, budget-friendly, and realistic $40 meal plan prepped out or figured out for you all for this week. And I want to share with you what we're actually going to be making. Before we get started, if you're new to our channel, I'm Julia. My sidekick, Erin, is not here right now. We are the Canny Couple, a small homestead family in rural Virginia that work every single day to merge homesteading and frugality. And for me, a real big part of frugality is watching every dollar we spend at the grocery store. But I also know for us, because we are homesteaders, we're trying to be homesteaders, whatever you want to call it, we grow a lot of our food, especially our vegetables and our fruit. You all can't see it. I have a humongous bowl over here full of nothing but blueberries, getting ready to can those. I've got a bucket back here full of blueberries, getting ready to can those as well. And this is just our everyday life. But I know a lot of people don't have that. A lot of people are still struggling to make ends meet, figuring out the grocery store. And that's what this video is about. We're about talking how you can still make really good food, simplify your life, and really work through that on a tight budget. This was around $40, give or take. I'll have the exact numbers by the end of the video for you, because I need to see exactly how much I'm going to be using of all that I have here so I could give you exact numbers. But we have $40 grocery budget, and if you all are interested in more content like this, we'd really appreciate if you hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. So what do we have this week? So this week we're keeping things very, very simple. So I have eggs. Now these are our eggs. I did not buy eggs, but if I were going to buy eggs at the grocery store, for us they're about $3.50. I can get them locally, just driving up and down my road. People sell eggs for $3. So if I were struggling and I saw eggs were 50 cents cheaper from somebody else, I would go ahead and get the eggs there. So we know locally you can get eggs for around $2 to $3 in our area for a dozen. So I will take that into account. But I wasn't buying eggs because we do have plenty of eggs right now. So I have the eggs for $2 to $3. We have some zucchini. This was $1.15. I have fresh corn. It is bicolor corn, and these were 2 for $1 for the ear. So that's a pretty decent price. Actually, you could have gotten 4 for $2.50, but I didn't see the sales price on there. Well, I ended up getting 4 for $2. I just have to do a little bit more work for them, which is fine. I have some flour. I have some chips here, so we won't use this entire bag of chips. We will actually only use 1 jar of these chips, and I thought I left one out, and I guess I did not. So what I usually do is I will take these and put them into a quart jar. And 1 pound of these, 1 bag of these will take 4 quart jars, which makes this 33 cents for the week. Because we actually end up getting these for $2.50-ish. And if you do the math with that, it will actually end up being 33 cents a piece when Erin went down and did the actual numbers. I have some flour here. We got a small thing of my favorite flour, the King Arthur flour, and that was $2.47. I got bacon. Bacon was on sale. That's why bacon is in this meal prep. It was a pound for $4. That is right now my sale price. I hate it. It's gotten so expensive. I used to be able to get it for under $3. I'm not getting it at that price anymore. So we got 1 pack of bacon. We've got 2 things of cheese here. They were $2 a piece. This is my sale price. Very rarely can I get it for 3 for $5, or if I can get a pound for $6. That is rare. This is more like the sale price I can get at $2 for half of a pound. So this was $4 for a pound of cheese. I know a lot of people in their area, you can get it for 99 cents. I cannot. There is no 99-cent cheese in my area. I have a bag of rice. This was $1. This is not my preferred rice, but because of my budget constraints this time, and you'll see what kind of ate up a little bit more of my budget here in a second, it was $1. Excuse me. My nose, I'm wanting to sneeze. Black beans. We're only going to use half a bag. These were $1.50. Now, normally I buy these beans. They are 88 cents when I can get them for 12 for 10. So I buy 12 bags, get them for $10. Total, they're around 88 cents a piece. I will only use half a bag of these beans. So that we'll have to take that into account when we do our math. Here's what I feel like ate up a lot of my budget. Now, normally I would just go pull seasonings out of my cabinet, but I'm trying to be as real with you all as I can. Now, I will be using a little bit of oil and some salt from my cabinet. I can't find the salt I like in my grocery store. We use Robin's Real Salt. That's my preference. So I will be using salt. I will be using our pepper. So we're doing an Asian barbecue. This is going to be for one meal. We are doing this brown sugar bourbon. We are also going to be making a quesadilla, so we'll use the taco seasoning, and we'll use the fajita seasoning for the quesadillas. We'll use the taco season to season the beans and some of the rice. And then we have our pork here, and it is $13. It was on sale for $1.79 a pound. So here's the plan. We are going to be having eggs and bacon, omelets with a little bit of cheese for breakfast. So that'll be a really easy breakfast to make. I can get my omelet maker out, plug it up, and roll through those really fast. We are going to be having pork and, taco quesadillas. We're going to use the fajita seasoning, some cheese, some of the pork here for quesadillas for lunch. That'll be really yummy. Isabel will eat cheese, so we're going to make homemade tortillas here. That's why I need a little bit of oil for my cabinet. We use olive oil, and I had just bought some olive oil, so I was not buying more. And then for dinner, we're doing dinner a few different ways. So we're going to have pork nachos. That's why I left these out for about one meal, maybe two. I don't know. I could probably get 6 meals out of this. We will see. So we're going to do pork nachos. We will use the fajita seasoning here. We are also going to do barbecue pork wraps. So we've got this brown sugar bourbon marinade barbecue here. We'll use that. I will also probably need a little bit of vinegar and maybe a little soy sauce. I think this one calls for soy sauce, but those are just small basic things I might need to have. And then we're going to do an Asian barbecue rice bowl. And with that, we will use corn and zucchini. We'll use the zucchini for the rice bowl mostly, and we will be using corn throughout our weekly dishes. So, we also have bananas. I left the bananas out. I also have a pack of bananas that we will be having with lunch. That will be our side item for lunch. So I'm sorry I forgot those. I knew I was missing something. So let me get this stuff put away, and we are going to get this pork into the Instant Pot right now. So give me just a minute and I'll be back. Okay, got this pork ready to go in the Instant Pot. I have it cut up here into chunks, and that'll help it cook faster. It was already thawed, and it's full because that was a whole pork loin. Now, I normally wouldn't fix that much meat for us in a week. I normally wouldn't. That's one of the other reasons why my budget was so much higher this month than what it would normally be if I were making this. I'm on more of a high protein diet, so this, like most of this is going to be for me. Aaron doesn't eat this much meat. Isabel doesn't eat this much meat. They eat meat, but I'm right now on this high protein, low carb diet, so I eat more meat right now, so I have to account for that. So we're going to salt this pretty good, and we're not going to season this very much because even though our spices might say marinade and things like that on it, you can still take those and pre-season and use them to season meat after it's cooked. Yeah, they do better if you season it before, but you don't have to use it that way. You can change it up. I actually never use a marinade. I never use a marinade the way it says to. I always use it in a different way. I find it to be just as effective, and you still impart that flavor, that taste that you're looking for. So we're going to change it up just a little bit to make it work for our meal plan this week. So salt, pepper, water, that's it. I could add some garlic, but I feel like almost everybody should have some salt and pepper in their pantry, in their house somewhere. You've got salt packets, you got something. Into the Instant Pot it goes. Now, why am I doing the Instant Pot? It is hot. It's hot right now. It's in the 80s. Instant Pot, best way to keep your house cool. It's faster cook. You don't have to turn your oven on. It's also less energy. It's less expensive to use. This is the only way to go. Now, I will have to use the oven, but instead of using the oven for hours, it's going to be like for 30 minutes. So now we're going to put it on manual. We don't need it on here for 2 hours. We need it for about an hour. And that should have that meat really nice and tender. It will fall apart. There's no bone in this meat. Mine's an old one, so it doesn't, you have to do each and every single button. All right, it's on, ready to go. Now I'm going to work on getting all the rest of the stuff prepped and ready to go. When we come back, I will show you what else we are making. I've got a lot of prep work done while we were off. I got all of my chips into jars. We will use 1 jar this week. That makes this 33 cents per jar. And what I use is I use my sealer here to put the lid on. It seals it. And these were getting close to being out of date. You'll see a video on this as a grocery haul. These were getting close to being out of date. Bought them the same day I bought the other groceries. But I get them and I seal them and they last for ages. So I love having glass jars. And the other reason I go ahead and put them into jars is because it helps me control how much we're eating. You don't realize how much you're actually serving or eating or how far your food can go when you're eating it out of a bag and you can't actually see it. I have found when I go to a glass jar, it really helps, you know, keep us full. We don't get hungry, but it helps me control how much we're actually eating in a week. So I have 4 more of those to go with them. So I ended up with a total of 16. I feel really good about that. Pork is cooking. We got 24 minutes left. I have the eggs cracked and ready, cheese shredded, the bacon crispy. Aaron's going to be tickled pink about that. We just got to wait for this to get done. I think I can run the omelet maker in the Instant Pot together, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to wait for one to get done, unplug it because this will need to come down to pressure, and then put it in. Now I still need to make the beans. I still need to make the rice. I'll make the rice first. So what I will do is I'll take this out and make the rice. I'm going to put the corn in the rice because the corn, it's not cooked yet. It will cook in the rice because I'm going to use it for both meals with the rice. So it's ready to go. This will go in the oven. We'll get ready to put that in the oven to finish off cooking. But I will do the rice first with the broth that the pork has. So we'll have all those pork drippings to go in there. And then I'll take the rice out and then I will do the beans next. Now the beans, I put them in 30 minutes, just salt, pepper. And what I will do is I will use 3/4 of the taco seasoning mix for the beans. So most of this will go in the beans because we're only going to do half of this bag of beans. We're not going to go to do the full bag of beans because that is way too many beans. Like that's a huge pot of beans when you actually cook that many. So I only need to do like half of this. And I'll just use water, a couple cups of water. It'll cook up. They'll be perfect and lovely. And we'll have beans to go with this as well. So I'll cook the rice and the beans and all that afterwards. But first, we're gonna make tortillas while this is cooking. We're gonna make the sauce so it can be sitting. And we gotta kind of get all that ready. So let us start with the tortillas. My hair is blowing on my arm. We've got the fans going to help keep the house cool, so it's just flying around and blowing on my arm. So let's see, what am I starting with? I need a fork. And we've got our flour here, and we're going to do my tortilla recipe, which is a very, very simple, very, very basic recipe. We're going to do this times 3. So we should have enough flour based off of what the internet tells me as how much flour you actually have in a 2-pound bag. Get that little bit of flour out. So I broke my big pretty white and blue Pyrex bowl. It broke, shattered, just poof, popped. Not quite sure what happened there. So we're doing 6 cups of flour here. Four right now. 5. It looks like Google might have been right. I still have a little bit left. Ha, look at that. Look at that. Set that to the side. And now we need to add our salt. So I have my salt here and I have it on here, but I'm not going to measure that out. I don't need to. So I'm gonna 1, 2, 3. There you go. I never add enough salt to these things, so we're just doing our best guesstimation at this point. Olive oil. I do need a tablespoon for the olive oil. Because I don't trust myself with this one. So we're doing 3 tablespoons of olive oil. We gotta do 9 of them. So I need to do 9 tablespoons here. Now I did pull the olive oil out. I almost used the bacon grease. I was so close to using the bacon grease, but I know my little one will eat these if I use the olive oil. And that's why I'm kind of leaning towards the olive oil for this, because I want to make sure she'll eat these. Now, if I end up having too many, what I'll do is I'll stick them in the freezer, but I don't think I will. 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. This is not the olive oil of our choice, but it was on sale. So that's the reason we have that particular one right now. Let me set this to the side here. Now we are going to get water. We need 3/4 of a cup of warm water times 3 times. So I have a 1/2 cup here. So we'll have 1/2 cup. And then another 1/2 cup. Then 1 more. And that takes care of 2. And we'll do 1 more 1/2 cup before, and I'm going to mix this before I add the last 1/4 cup, which should be just about right. And I didn't measure this out beforehand. But I want to make sure if I need more flour, I didn't put too much water. I always just like to start mixing in. I can always add more water. I don't have too much flour to add more into it. If you haven't made homemade tortillas, I will tell you, I don't think we'll ever go back to store-bought. We've bought them before when we're like in dire straits. The last time we bought homemade tortillas was during Loin. And that's because tortilla rolls were really easy for me to put together and have like quesadillas for us. I could heat those and make them really fast, have them ready to go without much trouble. So we did that, but since then I really we haven't really bought very many, and I will need more water. I'm going to need at least all that, and that is about 1/4 cup. So, and I think I'm going to need more than that actually, because this is very thick. My hands are clean, so whenever I get in here, put my hand in here, yes, they're clean. Yes, I washed them. We are very clean here. I'm OCD about it. Aaron tells me, you need to spend less time cleaning. You don't feel like cleaning. Why are you spending so much time cleaning? It's like, I can't help it. I can't help it. I cannot help it. I have a clean house. It's really important to me to keep a clean house. So if you've noticed, my glassware has changed. I've got these new glasses to help with the brightness of the cameras and just the brightness of everyday sunlight and everything. I have sunglasses. They're TheraSpecs, but I've been worn down mama lately. And one of the things that we've been dealing with is I've had a chronic headache since last October. It hasn't went away. It's been the same headache every day. And we've been working through that, trying to find ways to manage it, because everything's coming back normal, everything's coming back okay, and I can still function most of the time with it. Some days it's just making sure we're all fed, taken care of, and moving in the right direction. And that's just what it is. So today I'm feeling pretty decent. I can get a good meal on the table, but the glasses are to help. So that's why we have the glasses on. But they are working on it. We're working on it, trying to find ways. Aaron's been learning all kinds of things to help different things. And we're just managing. We're managing every day. So that's where we are. But If you wonder why I'm wearing rose-colored glasses now, that's the reason why. It's because they help with my headache. I tell everybody I now see the world with rose-colored lenses, and it's really true because everything's a different color now. It doesn't look the same. Everything's a little hazier, a little bit darker, and I'm like, what color is it supposed to be? Because Aaron tells me now he has to go. Before he would have to make sure, I would make sure he got all of the blueberries. Well, now he goes and makes sure I get all the blueberries because I can't tell. I think I have them all, but I miss a lot because the color of the glasses, especially when I have the sunglasses on. So here's my lovely ball of dough. We will roll this out in just a few minutes. We like to let this rest just for like 5 to 10 minutes. While this is resting, what we will do is we will get our seasoning made. I'm going to set this to the side. I'm going to wash my hands really fast to get this dough off. Have these really amazing scrubby dish rags, and when I work in dough, they work really well at getting all of that off of my hands. So it will just yank it all off. It works really, really well. It hurts a little. It kind of scrubs your skin a little raw. I have to be very careful, especially during processing season, like when we have potatoes and things like that, because what will happen is my hands will be in water so much that they will just get scrubbed completely raw during this process. And if I go to do peppers, I've actually set my hands on fire with peppers. We were working on potatoes, and what I had done was I was scrubbing potatoes all day, then I was working on peppers at night, and they just set, my hands were red, inflamed. I thought I was going to have to go to the ER. So I was going to have to go to the ER. They were burning so bad. Aaron thought this had to be a joke. This was no joke. There was no ice. There was no nothing I could put on my hands for hours. I was in tears, literal tears. They were burning so bad. It was awful. So let's turn these marinade mixes into something that can go really good on top of our pork. So we're doing the pork 3 ways. We're doing quesadillas. And with those quesadillas, we will also do pork nachos, which will be really yummy. We'll have that with the rice and beans. It will have corn in the rice. Then we are also going to do this Asian barbecue, which will go on the rice and corn and with the zucchini, which will be really, really nice. Can't wait for that one. And then we're going to do barbecue. And when we have the barbecue, I will fix this, and I will also put this with bananas, because we do have bananas for Aaron and Isabel. They will really like that as kind of like a sweet treat to go with those. So let's start with this one. So these do take a little oil, and for the oil, I'm actually going to use the bacon grease. So I'm going to pour all of this in here, and for this meal, it'll only take 1/4 of that pork. This will take 1/4 of the pork, and then the taco pork will be half of the pork, because it'll be lunch and also 2 dinners. So this should make 6 dinners in total. And that smells nice. It's got a nice smell to it. This is what it looks like. So like I said, normally I would make this myself, but I'm trying to do this, like, say you don't have anything in your pantry for the most part. This is kind of how I would work with this. So this takes 1/4 of a cup of oil, 1/4 of a cup of water, some apple cider vinegar, and then your beef. We're going to pull our oil from our bacon grease, because we have this bacon grease and we need to use this bacon grease. And it's pork. You can't do anything but add an extra smoky level to this. That is going to be really, really nice. Now use regular vinegar. I'm using this AVC we have in our refrigerator for Aaron. So I'm going to use a little bit of this, and it takes 3 tablespoons. So we're going to pour just a little bit of this in here. Make sure I don't pour too much, and then it calls for some water, so let me get some of that. Now I'm not going to put as much water in this dish, and that's on purpose. It says for I think 1/4 of a cup. And the reason why is we want this to be a little thicker. So it's going to cook in the oven with that pork. It's going to be super tender. And it's going to be nice and seasoned. And it's just going to turn into a really nice sauce in the 30 minutes it's in the oven. What I want to do is I'm going to take and taste test this just a little bit to make sure it's got enough acid in it from the apple cider. So let's... Oh yeah, yep, that's good. It is good. That should be just fine. So I'm going to set that one to the side. It can sit while we are waiting for this pork to finish. And we'll go ahead and get the other one ready. This is Asian barbecue. I was trying to do an Asian sauce and I looked at the sauces. I cannot make Asian sauce homemade. I've done it many times. My family does not like it. They just don't care for it. Aaron will eat it and he'll say, yeah, it's good, but I could tell, you tell that he would really prefer it another way. So I've just learned Asian sauces, we like Asian, just buy them. Just to buy it, don't even try. It's just not worth it. I've not found the one yet that they are just like, yes, give me this every time. Now I can update Asian sauces to taste better. I have one that I do over ramen that Aaron and Isabel both love, like absolutely one of their top 5 favorite really quick meals. But when it comes to like a meal like this where I'm not making that much sauce, I probably would just stick to buying something. I was going to buy like an actual sauce, but they were so much more expensive. So these were on sale for me, which is why we went with this. This has that barbecue smell, not too much, but a little bit. And this one, you can use white or rice vinegar. I'm going to use apple cider, and we're going to also put in the bacon grease. Now the rest of this bacon grease will go in my refrigerator. I will use it to fry up eggs. I will use a little bit of it for doing the omelets here in just a few minutes. But we can go ahead and get those omelets ready after this as well. So we need a smidget of soy sauce. Or coconut aminos. I've got a lot of soy sauce, so I've got to get through it. And then we're switching to something else. We have so much soy sauce right now. I've got to get through it all before I can go and justify buying anything else. I just cannot justify buying it because I have so much soy sauce right now. We had just bulk bought it, and I've got so much. I had no idea how much I had from before, and that's why when you don't know what was in your pantry, you overbuy things when you shouldn't. And soy sauce doesn't really go bad. I've never had an issue with it going bad, so I'm just trying to work through what we have. It smells good. It looks nice and thick. Let me get a little spoon here and try. That's a little heat to it. That'll be good on top of that rice. That'll be really nice. So I'm leaving the fork in the barbecue, no fork in the Asian. Oh, I didn't add any water to that. Did it call for water? No, it did not. Okay. All right, and that goes in my trash pile. You probably see my scrap bucket there on the side, hanging out full of stuff. So let's go ahead and get these eggs ready to go. So I have all 12 eggs broken up in here. Whew. That little bit of seasoning, I got some in my mouth. Let me get a little water. It's a little bit better. Good. Let us get this started. So I'm just going to do a really quick scramble here. Get these eggs mixed up. I like an omelet, but I am a cheater. I can't make an omelet to save my life. I can't. Haven't been able to. I've tried. We've tried a few hacks. My mom, we were making omelets in the bags. I don't know if you remember that hack where you take the Ziploc baggie and pour all your stuff in it and make the omelets. And I don't do that now I do not do that now. Cooking that plastic, and I think a few times we've burnt through the plastic. So we do not do that. Instead, I just got an omelet maker. It is non-stick, but I'm very, very careful to make sure I use just the plastic. Try not to use a fork on it so I don't scratch it up. It's my cheat. It's a hack. It's what I can do. So we're going to salt and pepper this, and I'm going to give my cheese a stir. So we have both that sharp cheddar and the mozzarella. I like sharp cheddar, and I like to get like extra sharp cheddar simply because you don't have to use as much of it. You can really, really stretch out your cheese if you use a sharper cheese because it's got so much flavor to it. You're going to get hit in the face with that sharpness. I like mozzarella because it's really nice and cheesy, and it actually lends itself very well. I'm not a person who could put any cheese on top of certain dishes. Like if it's like Italian, it's a mozzarella or ricotta anytime. I'm not putting cheddar cheese or Colby. Sometimes I can do like a Monterey Jack, but even then I'm like, I can't make pizza like that. I just can't. It doesn't seem right to me. I will withhold the pizza if we don't have mozzarella on it. Like my buffalo, if I'm making buffalo, it's got to be mozzarella. Monterey Jack will work with it. I've done that once or twice, but we way prefer to have the mozzarella. But this one, it doesn't really matter. Use whatever you can get, whatever your family likes. Through. Not a lot of cheese on here because we need the cheese for the nachos. We need the cheese for the quesadillas. We're going to do like a big sheet pan quesadilla. I'm going to do half just cheese and half with cheese and meat, and then put the rest, the meat and the cheese, on the side for me and for the other stuff. So, and then we have our bacon. It's nice and crispy. Aaron's going to be tickled pink. Where I made this in bulk, it's going to be all together. That way it's just sort of what Isabel will be too. She likes it crispy like her daddy. Let me know in the comments below. You all finding good deals on this stuff? Because like I feel like our prices are not, you know, we're seeing egg prices go down. We don't buy eggs, but we do look at the egg prices. We are, but everything else I feel like just keeps getting higher, and I'm not seeing good deals. I have a video I'm wanting to do this month to show you the deals I get. Well, the very first week there's no video because there's not a single deal for stocking up my pantry. There's nothing that I can buy to stock up my pantry that I would normally buy to stock up my pantry. I don't know if it's where we don't eat a lot of processed foods now, that we're more doing whole ingredient, single ingredient foods, and maybe that's the problem. But it's just like the deals have disappeared and are just drying up, and even though I'm getting an ad, it's like there might be one or two things in the entire ad that I might consider a good deal, but I could really pass up. So let me know in the comments below. Are you seeing this? Like, what are y'all doing to find them other than, you know, going to the store and digging? Because like, I'm getting frustrated with shopping. And yeah, I can go to all these, but all these, for us, it's a hike. It's such a hike. Here's what this looks like while we're waiting for I think got 1 more minute left on my Instant Pot. So we are so close, so close. And we can get those done, and I will go ahead and get my pan heated. We can use the bacon grease for that to fry up the tortillas. Well, actually, I think I'm going to use the olive oil just because of the way Isabel is. I know her. So my pan here, it is clean. What is on it is coconut oil. That is what I use to, after I'm done with it, I put a little coconut oil on it, and sometimes it gets a little hard, but it is clean. Trust me, of all the things I keep clean, this is the one. I don't use a lot of cast iron. I use more enamel, but I needed something for these kinds of meals. This became the one. Okay, let's come over here and grab this. And I do not set this down on my countertop. Simply because I do not want to risk it messing up my countertop. I don't want to break my countertop. We're going to get, let's see, I've got aluminum foil. I got plastic wrap. I've seen people use a baggie. Let me go get parchment paper. I'll be right back. Got the parchment paper ready to go now. We are ready to start putting things together. So this is going, everything's melting here, and I'm gonna add a little flour to this. Simply because we're gonna roll these as we go. I don't want a big mess to have to clean up later. I'm feeling pretty decent, but I'm tired. Yesterday was a long, hard day, so I'm feeling very, very tired. I could use some more sleep. And that's just kind of where we are right now. So we're just going to pull these out, make them into our little ball, bring it up. And if they're a little big, that is fine. I'm okay with that. It's more of a, I don't care about perfection for these, and they don't either. They just care that it tastes good. I think it's what, like, a lot of people forget. Like, if it tastes good, it's okay. That is the #1 goal with anything when it comes to cooking. It's got to taste good. So look how pretty that is. It does such a wonderful job flattening these out. We're going to get these on there, and it will take just a few minutes. It does not take it very long at all to cook on there. I know Aaron will be really excited. It has been a hot minute since I've made these homemade for him. He's almost eaten all the crackers that I made for him. But the tortillas, it's been a while since I made those. You don't need a tortilla press to make homemade tortillas. You do not. So if you think you have to have a tortilla press to make yourself homemade tortillas, you do not. You can make a homemade tortilla with nothing more than a rolling pin. I have done it. There are videos out there of me doing it. That's all you need. That is literally all you need. You do not have to make it super complicated, super hard. All you do is you just roll up. I need to pop that up again. All you do is roll out your dough. This one I'm doing as I go, but you can lay it out, roll it out, and kind of go from there. If you're new to this, I would go piece by piece. I'm okay doing it this way. I'm going to scooch this over just a little bit more. Okay, waiting on this. I need to get my tongs. I like to use my tongs for all of these. It's safer. And I use this for like frying quick breads, anything like that, anything I'm going to fry on the stove. This is my go-to fan for that. It's so much easier. So much easier. And these are not ready yet. They are not ready. Now this is a different oil. I'm hoping that they taste okay. Again, I was kind of scared to use the bacon grease on these. I really was. Just because I know Isabel. I know my girl. I have the olive oil. I just know what she's like. I just see her being like, this doesn't taste right. No. Even if it tastes fine. Put my recipe card up. I didn't know if I wanted a recipe book or recipe cards. I went with recipe cards because for me, I thought that would be easier. But I've still been really, really bad about actually putting in the recipe. I've got to get better at this. Aaron gets so upset with me because I am not good at putting in a recipe at all. I will make something and he's like, why are you not writing this down? That was the whole point of the recipe book, was to write this down. They are not quite ready. I didn't quite have that hot enough, so these first few are going to be a little messed up. That's okay, they'll still taste fine. And we will put that here so we can make a stack. And I need to get the omelet maker. So hot minute. And we need, I never cook anything. You can see my messy cabinet. I never cook anything without putting it on a hot plate or something like that, simply because I don't want to risk it cracking my countertops. Scares me to death. Absolutely scares me to death. The mere thought of messing up my countertops. So I'm going to get some oil on there. We're just going to put just a smidget of oil on there from that baking grease. And let that kind of heat up into thing. And while we're doing that, that's heating. Takes just a few minutes. We're going to go ahead and roll out some of these tortillas so they're ready to go for the next batch. I had looked at doing a flatbread. I thought about doing a flatbread, but especially for breakfast, but I thought an omelet would be good. Aaron hasn't had an omelet in a while. So he's been eating like banana bread. Him and his buddy, banana bread, and pumpkin bread, and oatmeal. We've had a lot of berries coming in. So we're like I'm almost getting over to the point where I'm overwhelmed with the berries. That's how many are coming in right now. They come in, they've all came in at the same time this year, which is rare for us. Like, I feel like we normally have a little bit of space to kind of get ready for everything, but this year it's like everything kind of just went bam. We're in full bloom. We're ready to go. Here you go. Here's all your berries all at one time. Like everything. And it's just been a lot. It has been so much. It's been really hard to do it, to keep up with it. I've got blueberries I need to get canned up right now. I've got other berries. We're not going to have enough to do anything with them this year, so I'm getting them in the freezer. Hopefully we'll have enough to make something next year. They'll do fine in the freezer for that length of time. I do this all the time when I have very small batches of things that we can't really eat. Like a mayhaw, you can't really, I don't know. They say they're not very good to just straight up eat, so we typically don't eat them. But this is our first year having them. So hopefully, you know, for this year, we have a few. Next year, we'll have more. We keep adding to that bag, and we'll have enough to make a small batch of jelly. We don't have that this year, but hopefully next year. We're going to get the next one ready. And just press it down. Now, my stove eyes cook a little bit differently. Like my front eye, that wind's blowing my hair, it keeps making me think that I'm got something on my arm. My front eye, I feel like I have to have it so much warmer than the back eye. It's part of having an electric stovetop, but I wouldn't have anything else. I would not have a convection or a glass top, and I don't want gas. Getting gas up here is a bit of a nightmare, and it's so expensive. It's so expensive. It's just not worth it for us. Let me know in the comments what type of stove do you have. I'd love to know. I know a lot of regular cooks have just a plain convection top, and they do save a lot of money. They are really helpful, but for a homestead, for me, I feel like the electric top gives me a lot more flexibility. I'm not limited in like how many canners I can put onto it. I'm not limited in like can I put my big canner on there? None of that. So that matters to me, because the other one, it would break. I've seen some horror stories. You have to see what your stove is rated for. I couldn't find anything where I thought it would be strong enough to hold, especially my water bath canner, because it's big, and when you put water in it, it gets so heavy. It's so heavy. It's at least 50 pounds. So these take just a handful of minutes on each side. It does not take these things long at all to cook. So if you're new to making homemade tortillas, get them on there as fast as you can. Let them do their thing. It just takes a few minutes to cook. I'm sorry, the seasonings on everything getting to my nose. And I think we are ready to start adding, and I'm just going to kind of move that around just a little bit. And I've got my spoon here, and I'm very, very careful. I'm going to give it a quick stir. You can see they look really nice and pretty. We're just going to put 2 scoops in each one. That's all it takes to fill one of these up, and they'll kind of puff up just a little bit. You do not want to overfill them. You are way, way better off underfilling these things than you are to overfill them. If you overfill them, they are going to burn. Every time. They will burn every time. Let me reflatten that one more time. Keep pulling these out. I know Aaron's going to be really excited. He loves tortillas, and I used to make tortilla lunches all the time. We would have like tortilla pizza sandwiches, and I need to make these again, where I would take and make like a pizza on a tortilla and roll it up and pop it in the oven. That might actually be a really good dinner for us sometime, or a really good lunch. I think Aaron and Isabel would really like that. I think Isabel would love them, but she is a pizza. She's a pizza girl. I just make these little balls. I've almost got them all done. That one is done. You can see here how pretty that looks, and they just are so soft and so nice, and they're just so fluffy and lovely. And if you can get them fresh, they're so good. And you can put them in the freezer and reheat them up, and they taste amazing. They taste wonderful. I was going to make nachos, but I decided that I got those chips so cheap. I don't have to make the nachos homemade. I can just we can splurge with the 33-cent thing of chips. That will be fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Some of these I've got just a smidge too big. And I don't worry about these being super uniform. Never have, never will. All I care about, do they taste good? That is my number one, main, and only goal. And look at those. Aren't they pretty? And all I do is tear them open just a little bit on the inside just to make sure they are done, and these are done. So these can come out. And we can put the next batch in. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to keep making all of these tortillas, these omelets, and we're going to get everything in here cooked up, ready to go. Get the beans and rice done as soon as the Instant Pot's finished, and then I will come back, show you how I put it all together to finish it up, and then from there, Aaron will come back and tell you if it tastes good or not, because fingers crossed it tastes good. So I'll see you after I get all the prep work done for this great dinner we're going to have this week. Okay, beans, rice are cooked. We are ready to do the last little bits of this meal, get in the oven, then Aaron can taste test for you. So I've kind of got everything sort of situated. I'm kind of into like a one pan mode at the moment. And you all know me, typically I do one big dinner, one big lunch, one big breakfast. This time I'm doing 3 different dinners, one big breakfast, one big lunch, which kind of changes my normal routine. So let's go ahead and start getting everything together. I think we're going to start with the nacho and quesadilla pork. So I've got about half of that pork here, and it will go here with the rice and the beans. So that looks like a lot of rice and beans. Let me tell you something. My little one's already been like, rice and beans, Mommy, rice and beans. Yeah, guess what Isabel's going to be eating this week? Rice and beans. Yeah, I've never seen anything quite like it. I don't understand the rice and beans. She loves them. So we've got the fajita seasoning here. We're going to give it a quick mix. You can add a little water. I don't think it's going to need it because the pork is juicy. You could tell it just kind of fell apart whenever I pulled it out there. And the goal here is just to get it nicely seasoned and, you know, nicely coated here. In a mess, you know how that goes. So she's already eaten a tortilla and a half. Erin had a tortilla. Isabel had a tortilla. Yeah, she wanted more. Give me more. Then she came back to me and said, "Can I have more, Mommy?" I was like, "Well, I didn't have any more, but let's see. We can have one for dinner." So I've made her a cheese quesadilla for dinner, and she will be extraordinarily thrilled with that. So we're going to put this part here. I'm going to layer that in there, kind of heavy. This way, whenever I'm ready to get our meals ready, all I have to do is kind of pull out the pieces that I want, put it together, and heat it up. We're doing acupuncture a couple times a week right now, and we're about to end that, but because I'm doing so much acupuncture, and it takes a lot of our time. So because of that, I kind of have to plan what we're eating every single week. So there's that. I'm going to set these tortillas here because we are going to put Erin's tortillas together. And what I will do is I will pop these into the oven to let them kind of get started on the melt tea. And then whenever I go to fix them for him, I will put them in our little convection oven so they get a little bit more toasty. So he and Isabel, they'll be really toasty. So I have cheese, and I've already put the cheese up for this in the refrigerator so it won't keep melting. So we're just going to put a small amount here, and we're going to take some of this. Take a little bit more cheese. If you've never made quesadillas before, I would tell you, like, it doesn't take a lot to make them. I love quesadillas. I think they're like an underutilized meal all the time. I think everybody likes a quesadilla. Who doesn't like a flour tortilla with cheese and other stuff? I will make them with buffalo chicken. I'll make them any way I can. So, but it's been a while since we've had them. And I know Aaron really likes them. But what he will do is he'll pop these with hot sauce. And they'll have these for lunch. And they'll have them with a banana. I'll have the meat. So what meat's not in here, I will eat for my meal. I've already got all the cheese quesadillas here. So you can see they were really hot when I put those together. I went ahead and threw those together for Isabel. And if you can't heat these up, that's okay. As long as it's melty beforehand, they're still good cold. You just figure out what that needs to look like. Go a little bit more cheese on there. And I just want to put these in the oven just enough so that they will start to melt and get just a little bit melty. That is really all I care about. Where I make these tortillas homemade, like the tortillas might not be perfect, that's okay. You know, you just kind of deal with it. That's part of being a home cook. It's not going to be perfect, and that's fine. We're not looking for perfection. I'm looking for tasty. I've made 1, 2, 3, 4, and one of those is kind of small, so I can make 2 more of these. And I kind of try to count, see how many I'm making for Aaron, and make sure, because I can overfeed him. I do overfeed him a lot. He's like, stop giving me so much food. I don't need this much food. It's part of how I was raised to make plates. Like I don't know how to do small portions on plates, so I've really had to learn lately how to slow that down a bit. Put one little bit more there. That will be perfect. And then they'll just get nice and melty, so they'll be together. And then I'm going to give him this one here. It's going to be part of his taste testing today. I'm just going to do it in half, so he can tell you all if these were good or not. He will not lie to you all. Trust me. He will not lie. Okay, I'm going to set these to the side right now. This here, I will get the rest of this meat put into a dish container. And I have too much in here, so for me for the week, I'll pull from here and pull from here, just whatever's left. Is kind of how I tend to roll with that. Okay, so here is what we're going to put in the oven for our Asian. And remember, our Asian barbecue was this one here. It is soy sauce, some vinegar, and we're going to put this on the meat. And it's going to be thick, and it's going to be really yummy. And then all of that will be cooked together in the oven, just to kind of finish off in the oven. So we're going to take our meat here. I'm going to pour over our pork. We just want to get a nice little coating here on the pork and kind of chop that pork up just a bit so that it's not so chunky. So it's really coated. If I need to, I can add a little bit of water to this. I'm going to try not to add water. That's my goal. Try not to add water. And we're just going to cook this so it has time to let everything kind of marinate. So it'll be 15 minutes, maybe 20 in the oven on 350, but not very long at all. I'm going to put this here. So all of this, you see, everything is together. So I have one meal. All I have to do is go through and pull out what I need for each meal, depending on what we're having throughout the week. This kind of works best for me. I don't like to cook throughout the week. I don't know what I'm going to feel like day from day, if I'm going to have a good day, if I'm going to have a bad day. So I typically try to make sure all of my cooking is done one day a week, just so I'm done and I don't have to think about it. I don't want to have to think about it. I don't want to have to deal with it. I don't want any part of it. And I know a lot of people might feel like it's lazy to do it all. I'd rather just go ahead and get it all done one time a week. So now we've got this mesquite barbecue. That one smells nice too. It's got a very nice barbecue-y smell to it. This is going to be too much. I will be eating a lot of this for lunch, and probably a little bit for breakfast, just because I want to eat it up. And what I don't eat, we'll put in the freezer. We'll have for TV dinners. So got this laid out, and I'm just going to lightly pour this over. We'll get all that flavoring out. And this is just how I like to use marinades. Again, you can marinate however you like to. I know a lot of people do. I've just found for me, most of the time marinating, you don't really, it almost doesn't do much. And maybe it's the types of marinades I've used in the past, but I've just found I have a lot more success if I try to turn that into a sauce or something other than just a straight up marinade. It just does better for us. It gives you more flavor, more punch. Sometimes I'll use Italian dressing as a marinade on chicken, but even then I don't feel like it's punchy enough. Like it doesn't kick you in the mouth kind of flavor. And with Aaron, it kind of needs to kick you in the mouth on the flavor. He loves to be able to just taste all of that, and he doesn't want anything bland. Like no bland at all. You can over salt it, but garlic and anything else you really can't. And he's not a huge fan of seasoning salt unless it's like on something like big French fries or something like that. We typically try to keep our seasonings really just straight up seasoning. You know, like I like to make a homemade Brazilian. That's really good. We like that on pork. I thought about doing that, but I thought these would be a little bit better. And I know like Isabel, trust me, this is already going to be 8. I did put the taco seasoning in the beans, and I put what was left in the rice. You can kind of see it's a little red there. I didn't want to stir up the rice too terribly much. But yeah, that little bit of taco seasoning to give that rice flavor. I did not put anything in this rice because that pork has that seasoning on it. So whenever I make the plate, it'll all be together. Okay, this is done. So I'm going to put all this in the oven. When we come back, Aaron will have a plate. He'll taste test it, tell you if I did a bad job, I did a good job. We'll see here in a couple of minutes. But I can tell you now, I'm tired. I'm a little bit worn out. Meal is done. Meal prep is done. And we are ready to do, I got a sink full of dishes to do. And I think Aaron's got some picking to do if it stops raining. So I'll be right back here in just a few minutes with the final product.
Okay, so got here everything that she's made. A lot of goodies.
It smells good.
Yes. So you want to do the amount first, or do you want me to taste test first?
It's hot. You might want to do the amount first.
Okay. Okay, so $39.21 for everything.
Yep.
40 meals brings it to 98 cents a serving. So under $1 a serving.
And we rounded the meals a little bit because of the little one.
Yep.
It's too hot.
That's the quesadilla for lunch, I think.
They're good. I like the quesadillas. I snuck it. She gave me one to try earlier, so I know I like those.
And then the one with the zucchini is the Asian barbecue.
Mmm.
Is that good?
That's really good.
I didn't know. I was a little worried about that one. Those are the nachos.
Well, that'll be good.
It's missing the cheese. That's what I forgot, the cheese.
It's got 2.
That's good. Could use some cheese, though.
Use some cheese. That is the omelet. It's bacon.
And I'd put a little hot sauce on it myself.
Yeah, I know. He'll have to put a little hot sauce on it. That is his omelet. It is bacon and egg.
No, don't steal nothing.
We'll get you one in just a second. She already had like 3.
Almost good.
It's good. The bacon crunchy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that. Those would be great for breakfast. So. Not as crunchy as regular bacon. You can tell, it's...
Where it's cooked in the egg.
Right. But it's good. Okay.
Got one more thing.
What else? Oh, is this a different one?
Yeah, that's different.
Oh.
That is the barbecue.
I like that the best.
I thought you might.
That's really good. Well, I'm going to eat all this, so, make sure to go and check out our link tree with all of our other contents. And
as always, thank you for joining us on the Canny Couple, where we work hard, live simple, and enjoy life. Have a wonderful day.